I want to talk about a story that's been going viral over the last 24 hours. Probably 20 or 30 people have emailed it to me, and there's a lot of misinformation going on about it. The U.S. Marshals said that they made several attempts over the last 3 years to get a man named Paul Aker to court, claiming he refused. So they issued a warrant for his arrest, and now Aker is telling his side of the story, saying the force used by U.S. Marshals was excessive in getting him to court, but most importantly, that he was arrested for student loan debt. And it is true that Paul Aker owed about $1,500 for a student loan dating all the way back to 1987. But the story is not being reported correctly. The story is being reported, Lewis, as he is in court, almost as in like a debtor's court. He was arrested because he owed money on a student loan, and this could happen to anyone with outstanding or overdue student loans. Not true. He failed to show up for a court-ordered deposition back in 2006 when a lawsuit was brought against him for failure to pay his federal student loan. So this was a bench warrant, basically saying it doesn't matter why you're supposed to show up in court. You were supposed to show up and you didn't. Thus, you were supposed to be taken into custody, brought to appear, and then you were released, right? You're not jailed for the crime of not paying student loans. You're being brought in by U.S. Marshals because you missed a court appearance. So I am the first person, Lewis, to say we have a student loan crisis in this country. We have predatory student loans. We have an exploding cost of college issue, everything from fees to books to tuition. It's all crazy. It's all completely corrupt and insane. But the headline that now he and all sorts of other people are going to be arrested just because they have student loan debt that they can't or haven't been paying. This was a lawsuit. He was ordered to appear to represent, to speak on this lawsuit, and he didn't. It could have been for anything, ridiculous or not ridiculous. And I think we have to get the facts straight here. And the viral stories that have been going around are really missing some key points.
Okay, that is true. There are many people who have student loan debt, though. This was one person who they decided to actually go after. And by that, I mean whoever he owed this money to.
Right.
So, I mean, in a sense, it was foolish not to go to court. It was foolish not to go to court. But what
when
amazes
you're sued,
me,
you should show up in court.
You should show up in court, yes. But that it even came to that over
Right.
such a small amount of money, and that now a lot of money and time invested in having the U.S. Marshals dealing with this.
Yeah.
That's pretty shocking.
Totally agree. And a source at the U.S. Marshal's office reportedly told Fox 26 that they may be serving similar warrants on 1,200 to 1,500 people over lawsuits related to student loan debts. So absolutely, this is crazy. It's an absolutely absurd use of time. We shouldn't even be getting to lawsuits over student loans. But that's the problem. Once there is a lawsuit and a court says you must appear, it almost becomes background what the specific reason is. We have to be nuanced here. I'm not defending anything in particular here with regard to these practices, but this was a bench warrant.
And now this gets even more ridiculous because taxpayer dollars are
Right.
being used
Insane.
to go after the people who owe student debt money to these companies.
And no doubt, by the way, that U.S. Marshals, a group of U.S. Marshals showing up fully armed to bring a guy in who is served a bench warrant for owing money on a student loan. I mean, that's completely nuts, and we've talked about overuse of force, no doubt about that.
It's completely nuts, and it's a shame that that the enforcement of this is being socialized. You know, it's our money that is paying for this now.